everyone, a very warm welcome to my class. This is in continuation to the summary analysis of the Unit 8, that is Religion Society, of Paper 1, people who've taken Sociology as an optional subject, that is Fundamentals of Sociology. Today's lesson, I'm going to explain to you all the criticisms that were meted out by different scholars to Karl Marx's theory of religion. This is the syllabus as prescribed by the UPSC for paper 1, that is Religion and Society. Going in for a quick recap, my previous lesson I explained to you all about Karl Marx's theory of religion. Since he looked at it from the functionalist conflict perspective, it was all more about the dysfunctions of religion which he spoke about, which I explained to you all. Today's lesson I'm going to explain to you all about what were the criticisms or what were the drawbacks which the scholars saw in the theory of religion of Karl Marx. Now, just to go on, for a recap of how did Karl Marx look at religion, Karl Marx said that religion is the opium of the masses because it is opium. Why he says is because when you're drugged, what happens? You're numb, you're not in it's like an illusion. So religion is what that is doing to the people. Especially here he's more concerned about the working class, the working labor. It has drugged them. They're in no thing to question anything. They just take whatever that has been offered to them, or even if they've been oppressed, they're living in the worst of conditions, not getting a good pay, their questions are not asked because religion has shielded them, or it has mentally prepared them like that. Because he says that religion is meant to create the illusory fantasies for the poor. Now, these economic realities which the worker has prevents them from finding the true happiness in this life. This is what the religion says. Do not worry. You might not be enjoying the best of it, or you're not able to have, but don't worry. There's always life after death. There's something more that is in store for you. So this is a one that has been so the man having a hope, because the religion is saying religion is something very, very most important institution. Since the religion is saying, so here this man has a hope that let me work hard. I have something more stored to this. And not only that, one of the main functions is to prevent from making demands, because here there is false consciousness in the workers. They're not there. This false consciousness prevents the worker not to question the present situation he is in. He's getting less pay, more hours of work, not enjoying the profits. He's not able to buy the material things. He's producing it. So this false conscience where he's not trying to question the capitalist or the owner by saying that, why is that I'm putting off, so I'm not getting anything. I'm becoming poorer by poorer. I'm just able to provide 3 meals a day to my children, not able to provide them best education, not able to live in good houses. So all this is, the questions are not asked because of this false consciousness. Now, he says that religion is only necessary in a society that is exploitative by nature. He says religion is not necessary when there is an equal society, which always had the hope that when there is going to be a proletariat revolution, the workers are going to emerge victorious. In such a society, he said, you do not need religion. You need religion only in an exploitative system. For him, the exploitative system was only capitalism. Now, what is the first problem in the Karl Marx analysis of religion? The first one is Marx doesn't spend much time looking at religion in general. Now, when you see Weber and all and other sociological thinkers, they did a lot of research, or they studied other religions in depth apart from Christianity, whereas Marx, only thing you can say, Christianity was the only religion that he was most familiar with. What thoughts or what ideas he came about in his theories, his doctrine does not hold, it does hold to some religions, but does not hold to all the religions in the world. For example, in ancient and Rome, for example, a happy afterlife was, now what Karl Marx said. He said that whatever the scriptures the biblical scriptures always said that there is something more for you after death, whereas that holds only good to Christianity but does not hold to the thing of Greek and Rome. This is what the critics are saying. Now it is said that in ancient Greek and Rome, a happy afterlife was reserved to heroes, not the commoners. So here you see here, only the heroes were whereas the commoners were just happy to look forward to a mere their existence. They had no hope after death. They are not going to get a grand funeral after death. It was only for the heroes. Now, even among, if you go in detail with the caste system of India, it is said that the Shudra, once he dies, the body is taken to the burial place through the south gate, because all the gates are reserved for the upper caste, because it is said that the Brahman, after all the good deeds he does, he goes through a particular gate or whatever, good things are in store for him. So that is why they say that he was only familiar with Christianity. And not only that one, the reasons what they say is this is maybe because he was heavily influenced by Hegel, and even thought that Christian was the highest form of religion. This was problem one which the people who found out about Karl Marx theory of religion came about, one problem in analysis. The second one is Marx's claim that religion is wholly determined by material economic realities. Now, when you look at Karl Marx's theory, for that matter, you just take a general Karl Marx theory, all his theories are related to the economic system. It's all about class struggle. It's all about the problems between the haves and the have-nots, about our class consciousness. It is about false consciousnesses. It is about the class struggle. It is about class. Now, alienation, all this, if you see, it is all connected only with the material and the economic realities. Now, if this is what was his, the way he looked at things was only with these two concepts of material economic realities. But scholars said that if Marx was right, then capitalism wouldn't have appeared in countries prior to Protestantism, because Protestantism is a religion system which was created because of capitalism, isn't it? Now this is what the major analysis was that was given by people. They said this Protestantism, when I'm doing the next lesson, I explain to you all, this was one of the reasons where it is because it gave rise to capitalism, and capitalism began to rise. The Reformation that took place in the 16th century in Germany, when the society was still in feudal by nature, and the real capitalism actually appeared in the 19th century, and Marx theorized that religious institutions end up creating new economic realities, like which we saw when he did the study on the Protestant ethics and all that, which I'm going to cover in my next lesson. The third one is theory more economic than religion, because if you see all economics, when you see, it is all about the class struggle, the haves, the have-nots, the commodity, about the commodity fetishism, the material things. Any problems in his economic analysis will affect his other ideas. This is what the thing. His analysis were more economic than religious. His basis is all about economic analysis, and all his theories, we say. Marx places his emphasis on the concept of value which can be created by human labor and not machine. This was one of the problems. Now, the first other criticism that was Marx's theory of religion criticism was it is a liberation theology. Now, not all religions are oppressed, or not all religions are against the poor, because we do have this liberation theory, theology. Religion does not always prevent social change by creating false consciousness. There are examples where oppressed groups have used religion to attempt to bring about social change. That is we are talking about the liberation theology. Now, this liberation theology is a time when here was a new, it was a new, you can say, movement that started, where people wanted to answer questions. The question that what Jesus would have done in a particular situation was there, how Jesus would have viewed and solved the social issues, how he would have seen to solve the issues of the poor inequality, and how he would do charity. This is the liberated theology that took place. So not all, you can say, religion are people who try to oppress people. Liberation theology was also tried to solve the problems of the oppressed. They wanted to solve problems, putting themselves in how would Jesus solve the problem if he had to look at the inequality among the poor, the poverty issues were there. This is thing. And second one, religion still exists where there is no oppression, because remember Karl Marx said, you don't need you don't need in a religion in an exploitative system, but it's nothing like that. Religion still exists where there's no oppression. Now, especially in USSR, this communist state they really placed limits on the practice of religion, including banning religious instructions to children. But still, religious belief remained strong even in the 20th century in Russia. Then religion is nearly universal. Now, religion is something that is no economics can define it, no politics can define it. Religion is such an institution which is very personal by nature, and this is more like, you can say, it has a positive scene to it, because it fulfills our social needs. This is something, the religion is something that gives a hope to a person. However economically you might be forward, however much technologically we might be upgraded, but this is a thing that gives you hope, solace, saying that everything is going to be all right. This is just a phase. Let us work forward. All these things. So these were the criticisms that were meted out by different scholars on Karl Marx's theory. So this is the end of my lesson. The next lesson, I'm going to explain to you all Max Weber theory of religion, giving all a short introduction. It's very interesting. So watch out for my next lesson. Pleasure teaching you guys. I'll see you in my next lesson.